Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Blast Zone, our brand new series to the Rising Moon podcast. It is your host, Chris, and co-host, Amanda.
Hi.
Welcome to The Blast Zone.
I thought we were always in the blast zone.
Exactly. So
Okay.
welcome to The Blast Zone.
So everyone else is here now, too.
Yep, everyone else is here. Too bad, too late. You already clicked on it, listening. You're in The Blast Zone.
Disclaimer time.
Disclaimer, this is our own personal opinions and thoughts on things. Whether you agree or to disagree, you know, that is your own fault, your own personal problem. No, I'm just kidding.
That's a you problem now.
That's a you problem, honestly. Again, don't take any, none of this is, for ill intent as well. It's just us speaking our thoughts. And yeah. Alright, anyways, moving along. So our topic for today is we're going to be discussing, when dating outside of your ethnicity or race, however you want to call it, nationality. When, people think you're racist or it's a kink versus those same people that have never dated outside their own race or nationality or ethnicity. This is what we're going to be talking about.
Background. We're not both white.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, mind blown. Shit.
I'm white.
No, really?
Yes. I looked at myself. You couldn't see it, but I did.
So this was originally it was just supposed to be just interracial dating, right? But it did come to our attention, or at least my attention too, to where certain interracial dating or interracial marriages, where some can be seen as a kink, which is kind of interesting because, you don't really what comes to my head is when I hear someone says interracial dating, kink doesn't really come to my form.
No. And I kind of feel like if that's the only reason that you're dating someone of a different race, that's kind of racist in itself.
Yeah, it is definitely kind of racist in itself.
If that's the sole reason.
Yeah, I would agree.
There should be that should not be a reason.
Yeah, that should not. By the way, everyone, we're drinking some soju, some peach flavored soju.
It's yogurt.
Oh, yogurt. I don't know why I said peach.
Are you drunk?
No. Not yet. So yeah, yogurt flavored soju with
Fanta.
Yeah, with
Orange
Fanta.
Fanta.
Orange Fanta. I decided not to put a lime in mine, but you did.
Well, citrus and citrus, so why not?
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of like a creamsicle because of the yogurt.
Yeah, it tastes delicious. It's really good.
Anyways,
so for those that don't know, I'm Asian, and as you guys just heard previously, Amanda's white.
could be pastier. White.
And for those that don't know, there's a sub-niche category, however you want to call it, besides interracial, is AMWF, right? Asian male, white, female. So where some people can view that as, oh, you're racist, or that's just a kink, But, there's other types of interracial dating. There's, we could just name a couple lists.
Black and white, white and Hispanic, Hispanic and black, Asian and black, Hispanic and black.
Yeah, right?
Hispanic and Asian. We can go on and on and on.
We can go on and on about it. But, to think that, there's some people out there that believe that kink just comes to mind, that it's, a fetish,
Which in itself is racist.
Yeah, in itself is racist. Right?
And it kind of, diminishes the connection or relationship that people have that are in an interracial relationship. It kind of makes it seem like, oh, well, you're just with them because, it's a thing for you.
Yeah, right.
You don't actually, genuinely like them.
Yeah.
It's just a lust thing.
It's right? Or it's those people that, that's like, oh, you're into, like, if you're white and you're into K-pop, man, you're just fetishizing because you're into K-pop.
Don't get me wrong, though. There are people that definitely do.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
But it's really irritating that that small group of people makes it so, like, there's a lot of K-pop bands that will hide the fact that they like K-pop because they don't want to be linked to that.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. Which really sucks.
Yeah, because they're like, automatically they're going to think I'm some sort of pervert.
Yeah.
Just because I like this music, which is not the case majority of the time.
But it's just like, what, like, white person, It's just like, oh, like, what if a white person likes rap? Oh, that just means, like, you're the black music. You like black people only. I mean, obviously we know that there's, like, white people and...
I mean, definitely there are people out there that do fetishize certain races, but I would not say it's majority of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, there's a small group.
Yeah.
And, again, that in itself is racist.
Yeah, that...
That's racist on their part.
Yeah.
Like, you should not like somebody just because what they look like.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, I think to a certain degree, right? I mean, it all, like, how I view it as far as, like, interracial dating is, it's like, it's a preference, right? It's whatever you are preferred as far as you see attractive, right? Doesn't mean that you're racist, or that's a kink. It's just like, oh, you came to like this person or just have this preference for it, right? It's kind of funny. It's to where I have been, criticized for being racist, thinking that, like, Asian male men are, like, supremacists, or,
You're like, actually, it's quite the opposite.
Yeah.
They're seen as, like, the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to dating apps.
Yeah, which is really weird. Yeah.
Well, because of stereotypes.
Yeah, stereotypes.
Let's be real.
Yeah,
let's be real.
Let's be honest. Right?
When you have people putting in their bios, must be 6 foot or taller.
Yeah. That's heightist. However you want to... That doesn't sound like a real word, but...
It is now.
It is now. You're being heightist.
Oh my god.
No, but, it because then, like, what happens is, people tend to, try not to be friends with certain people because they're like, oh, this person is gonna judge me, for who I like, right? Like, for me, as far as, Asians go, like Asian females, like, I'm not physically or sexually attracted to Asian females. Well, one thing is, like, titties. Not to say not all Asian females can have titties, but,
Well, you also said no fake ones.
Yeah, no fake ones. I don't like fake ones. But, I mean, I have 3 sisters, too, and, that's already a handful enough as far as close family Asian female goes.
Well, I mean, and, like, preferences can also develop out of just repeated negative experiences.
Yeah, that's true. You want to try something new. Well, for me, I would say, like, I grew up in a redneck city in Arizona. So everyone there was pretty much white. So, I mean, for people that are just like, oh, you're just racist, like, you won't date someone your own race or something like that. I'm just like, I grew up with white people around me all 24/7 for, like, all my life.
Yeah, because Arizona's heavily Hispanic, Latino, and then white.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So if you're growing up in an environment that, or well, growing up in an area that is
Predominantly.
predominantly
Yeah.
white, you know, you're gonna just naturally have the instinct of having a preference. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's naturally when you're growing up, you will start to develop a preference, and you know that preference can always develop into something more when you get older. But you know, that's for me. There was like hardly any Asian people.
And titties.
And titties. Right? Again, no offense to anyone that doesn't have titties or that are into, you know, people that don't have tits. So if you get butthurt on that, that's on you. That's a you problem.
Or if you're all about the fake ones.
Yeah, if you're all about the fake ones, that's fine.
All power to you.
Yeah, more power to you.
I don't need more back problems.
Right. But yeah, no, it's actually pretty interesting to when you get called for it being a kink, or especially that, and the person hasn't actually dated someone outside of their own race, you know, that's just fucking weird. That's just a person that's closed minded. Like, you are closed minded.
You know, I've had that happen on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
And I've always found it interesting because almost every time it's happened, it's been people that haven't dated outside of their race. And I'm like, I've dated or gone on dates with like people of all different races. So
Yeah.
there's the experience there, whereas like you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Now, I think also another thing too is, I think when you are in an interracial relationship, I don't think it gives you the right to, like, kind of like your brother, you know, to where he's like, oh, I can like make racist jokes, you know, because he's married to half Filipino, half black woman.
Yeah, like, I've never really understood that, because, I mean, on one hand, like, sure, they're just joking, and, like, her and her family's fine with it, so, like, in their circles, if that's what they're okay with, then, like, you can't really stop them. But, personally, I've never gotten it, because, like, before you, I was not with someone who was white. I was with someone who was Mexican.
Yeah.
And I never made any sort of comments that were, like, racist toward Latino or Hispanic people. Because, like, it made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Just like now, I would not make jokes about, like, racist about Asian people.
Yeah.
Because as someone who is fair complected, I don't feel comfortable commenting on any sort of race issue.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel it's my place.
Yeah.
And no, I would not understand what people of other races go through. Like, I can sympathize, but there's no way I can empathize because I, as a white person, have never gone through those things or experienced those things.
Yeah.
And I know that. Like...
And those people that think they do are closed-minded individuals.
Yeah. Like, you can imagine what it's like, but you don't actually know.
Yeah, you'll never know what it's like. Unless you... I wouldn't say you'll never know. I guess...
You won't experience it personally.
Yeah, unless you live in a part of the world to where you are the minority.
Yeah, which... the majority of white people is a very small amount of places.
Yeah, that's true.
Or there's a lot of other countries that still treat white people like
gods.
They're the cream of the crop or something.
Yeah,
even though,
which is
like,
really
it's weird.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I heard about a lot of my students that were from Korea. They would say, oh, you'll be fine with citizen, like, getting a visa and going to Korea because you're white, but if you were black or Hispanic, like, you would get treated badly by some people.
And now that's racist.
Yeah. They're like, oh, but they love white people. They all said that, but they love white people. I was like, what? Wait a minute.
I don't think there's anything wrong with interracial dating, you know. Like, I don't know.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. But to think of it as like a kink or a fetish, it's just like...
Wouldn't it be kind of racist if you only dated your own race?
Yeah, exactly.
Where you refuse to be open to other races?
Yeah, if you've never dated... Yeah, if you refuse to be something like, oh, that's because they're not white. We gotta stick it to the family genes. That's racist. I feel like that's racist. You know? Yeah. If someone in your family or if yourself has ever said something or thought about of like, our family needs to stay white.
I feel like everyone who is in an interracial relationship has heard from some sort of family member.
Yeah. Not only just white, but like...
Yeah, just anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't find X person? You couldn't find a nice white boy?
Yeah.
Couldn't find a nice Asian girl?
Nice Asian girl? What? Like, yeah, it's...
Like, I think everybody has heard that at some point.
Yeah.
Or they're just like, oh, it's a phase.
Yeah, definitely think it's a phase. And, you know, like, while at one thing you kind of look at it to where they want to keep the family lineage going, but it's still technically staying, but you're
adding some sparkle.
You're adding some spice to your life, you know? And I think personally that the more interracial relationships and, you know, that there are, the better it is for the future, you know? And it's not like it's not anything,
as much separation.
Well, yeah, but it's not anything new, but people are making it, you know, like it's still something new.
Yeah. Which is weird, because it's really not.
Yeah, it's really not. Like Bruce Lee had a white wife, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But still, people treat it as like something new.
Mm-hmm. But there's still very much, on all sides, families that are like, no.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you can mess around, but you have to marry someone of your race.
Yeah.
Of our race, whatever.
Yeah, and that's kind of fucked up because, you know...
Well, that plays into why so many people that are mixed feel like outcasts because they get treated that way.
Yeah.
They get treated like, well, you're not enough of this half to be with us, and you're not enough of the other half to be with them.
Yeah. So
even though they should be part of both communities, they're just excluded from both instead.
Yeah, it is really interesting. Yeah, especially when someone is mixed, you know. And for that person, that's just like, well, I don't know if I'm white enough, I don't know if I'm black enough, I don't know if I'm Asian or Spanish or Mexican enough, you know. It just really, it's really kind of annoying, you know. Like, especially for the community that doesn't accept them for being half of whatever, you know. That's racist.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't think there's anything wrong with having a preference. You know, I think that's where some people take it too far to where they think that you're racist versus...
Well, and you're not saying, like, I will only date someone if they're this.
Because, yeah.
They can be the shittiest person in the world, but if they look like this...
Yeah.
I'm all for it. No. No.
No. But, yeah, like I said, like, for me, it's just... Like, I don't, like, have physical sexual attractions to certain ethnicities, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, like, why... Or just, like, not even just that, but just, like, wanting a relationship with you know, with with that ethnicity. I don't know why I'm like tongue-tied, but
yeah.
But yeah, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why would you put yourself in that type of relationship if you're not going to be happy?
Yeah. And like, I've mentioned to you multiple times, like, for me, it was just like more seeing patterns.
Yeah.
After dating for so long, like, you start to see some patterns.
Yeah, you do.
So, like, that's kind of how it developed for me, which was, I was just like, well, I've been, like, it hasn't been going well, or I've been treated badly by people.
Yeah.
But nobody from this side has been like that. They've all been very nice and friendly and attentive. Like,
yeah.
When patterns develop and they're positive, you're going to go with people that are positive people that do positive things, instead of going back to things you've experienced many times over and over and over with similar kinds of people. Not like of a certain race or anything, but just in general.
Yeah, I think just in general. I think that's the bigger picture. If you look at things,
Yeah.
like, it's just in general. You know, well, yes, there are preferences, but just think about more of the bigger picture.
But, like, it does irritate me when, like, say, with, like, AMWF, the AMWF server,
Mm-hmm.
like, I would like to think that everybody's there for community, and that's just one of their preferences. But yeah, I do get kind of bummed out when it becomes apparent that the only reason people are there is because they see it as a kink, and that's it.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Like, it's disappointing.
It is very disappointing.
Honestly.
And for those that are also on the server, it's like, you know, like, yeah, it's like just by viewing it, you know, and yes, while, you know, a lot of them came from FetLife, but like that, it's not just the main focal point, you know, and, you know, it is a little disheartening to where it's more of a community to where it's both, right? It's kink and non-kink, you know, and yeah,
it gets discouraging when you try to get things going and try to, like, do things, but it seems like nobody's interested unless it has to do with the kink.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, Rising Moon isn't just about the kink, it's about, you know, the community in general, you know?
Yeah, it's like you can find a place to be you, be comfortable, and not be judged for it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a little disheartening when it seems like I'm in this community because it's a kink and that's it. Because really, like, that just really, what's the word? Like, makes it seem like if you are in what technically would be an AMWF relationship, that it's, like, invalid, or it's just about kink, or it's or it is only about that, or it's only about looks.
Yeah.
And that's the reason.
And
it's just like,
and it's funny because that's why people in the community are like get offended. But I'm like, you guys are the ones that also stir the pot of making people think like that, right? Like, people don't get it. Because
there's a lot of people that, like, if I bring up the server and I say, well, one of them's global, one of them's AMWF, they automatically are like, well, that one's the kink one.
Yeah.
And they think that because, unfortunately, there are people in the community that make it seem that way.
Yeah.
That it's not just a safe place for people of both sides to find each other and to find genuine relationships or whatever.
Yeah.
They just think, oh no, it's just people from both sides trying to get laid.
Yeah.
And it's just a sex thing, and that's it.
It's not.
It's not. Like, there are plenty of people on the server that are looking for genuine connections.
Yeah, genuine
or just friends.
Yeah, or just friends, something casual. And that's one of the biggest reasons why, like we just said, why people think it's a kink. You know, like you guys in this community make it seem that it's just a kink thing, you know? And
it sucks when you are in that kind of relationship and people automatically are like,
yeah,
oh, like it's not a real relationship. You just are in a kink.
Exactly.
In a kink dynamic.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, not at all.
And it goes on both sides, not just like white females, but Asian males too, right? Like both sides to it are making it into a stereotype. Whether you like it or not, it's so true. Like like experiencing it for almost 4 years of managing Rising Moon, it's actually just insane of how, like, again, don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with like kink. Like we're all adults here. Once you're 18 years old,
yeah,
up,
just like you shouldn't fetishize a race.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're people.
Or think
overall.
that's all what you should get out of that type of niche, right?
Yeah.
There's more to it. There's just casual, genuine friendships besides just trying to get your dick wet, trying to get your pussy wet, whatever. There's more to that, you know?
Yeah.
And
you can really tell who's, like, when people join up, you can really tell who's there for genuine reasons and who's there just for kink reasons.
But again, like, you know, for those that, you know, if you're Asian and you only date Asian people, or if you're white, you only date white people, etc., like, that doesn't make you racist. Like, we're not saying that makes you racist. But if it depends on how you go about it, right? If you're like, oh, I'm only dating Asian females because I need to keep Asian, like, race going, you know, and like all white people are just like fucking weird, like that's kind of racist, you know, or it's like, oh my, you know, that would bring dishonor to my family. I know that's kind of,
that would taint the line.
Taint the line. That's kind of racist, right? But yeah, you know, yeah. That's pretty much what I got.
That's all you got? Oh my god.
You got anything else?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just really stupid for people to judge when they've never experienced it. But like, also, I think people in the community also can do better, whereas they don't give people a reason to think that that's all it's about.
Exactly. I think that's
one of the period. That's what it's about.
Yeah. While again, people that might speak up are like, "Oh no, that's not what it's about." Like, come on. Like, who are you kidding? Like any other niche, like interracial dating, like, you know, not just Asian male, white female, but other ones too. Like, you have to understand that, like, you are possibly a reason as to why that it's a stereotype. You know, whether you like it or not, you are part of the problem.
Yeah, it's just like you said, if you wanted to be part of either server, but you didn't really want to be part of the Kink side or the NSFW, like, you have that choice.
Yeah, you have that choice.
You can say, no, I don't want access to that part, and you won't even see the channels.
Yeah. Like, not everyone's into it. Cool, then don't opt into it. You know, it's that easy.
And, like, say, if you do want NSFW, but you don't want to see everything, you just mute the channels you don't want to see.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
It's really not a big deal. But yeah, don't let people's comments, like, deter you from, you know, seeking, or if you're interested or curious about, you know, dating outside of your own race or ethnicity. Yeah, just You know, if you like that person, you like them.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, should.
But apparently it does to some people.
Apparently it does, yeah. And if anyone ever be like, oh, that's a kink, you know, you just automatically know they're just a closed-minded person. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just what it is.
Just irritating.
It is so irritating.
Well, like, it totally invalidates your relationship. Like, it's annoying.
Yeah, it is so annoying, right? It is so
You're like,
annoying.
you know nothing about us, so...
This is something I think that should be, like, taught in schools when you're, like, little. You know, there's so many different things that I would definitely implement in schools. But we all know public schools are just shit. But I think that would also be really good. I don't know about what you guys think, but, you know, like...
An actual sex ed?
Like an actual sex ed, you know? But this is different. This is, like...
It's a different topic.
This is a different topic, like... But as far as the same topic, like, you know, separating from sex ed, but like interracial, you know, understanding that. Because, you know, we're, like, in my school, you know, it was just history about America, you know?
Yeah, it was more like when interracial marriage was legalized.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it.
That was kind of it, you know? And we learned about slavery and the Pilgrims and stuff like that. But, like, that's not really good, honestly.
No.
Because then, that's why there's still people that, like, you know, grow up, they're like, oh. Like, if people wonder why kids that are, like, 10 years old that make racial slurs, you can thank the education system.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, just last week I saw a video of, like, 2 grown white women, like, our age, in Chinatown, making the slanty eye motion
Oh my God.
in the middle of Chinatown.
The fuck?
I was like, you're grown-ass women, and you don't know that this is racist?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that would be really good to have in a school system. Is like understanding interracial relationships in general, you know?
Well, yeah, because really all they talked about in school was, like, oh, if they were dating, they were treated like garbage, but they can get married.
Yeah.
And then they were still treated like garbage,
Yeah.
but they could get married, so it's okay.
That doesn't fucking help a kid.
I mean, honestly, there's still clan members attacking people in interracial relationships. You see it all the time.
Yeah, you see it all the time.
America.
But not to say it's only America. Let's be honest.
No, it's not America. It's just
Yeah.
not. It's just on the news a lot,
Yeah.
or in the news a lot here.
Yeah. But yeah.
But I think it's because here you see it a lot more, just because we're such a melting pot. Like, there's so many different people here.
Yeah, there are so many different people.
So you see it more often.
Yeah. Because you don't really see that, like, when I visited Japan, I didn't really see that many white people. I saw a majority of Japanese people, you know.
Mm.
Or even black people. I didn't really see that many black people when I was in Japan visiting
Yeah.
for, like, 10 days, you know.
Which is like friends I've had that live in Korea will be like, oh, when you go out, you'll see maybe like 4, maybe 5
Yeah.
white Asian or Asian black couples.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a, oh wow, kind of thing, because it's so
Yeah.
rare.
Yeah. Which is crazy. But for here, yeah, it's more prominent here that you can see that, but
Yeah, just because like everybody's here.
yeah, everybody's here.
Everybody. The melting pot.
And you know, for those that live in like small cities, you know, you need to get out more. They're like,
True.
yeah, like, you know, you can try talking to people that live in small cities. I've talked to people who lived out in small cities, and they're definitely very close-minded. So, like, I don't take offense to those.
And not
those
necessarily
people.
by their own fault.
Yeah, by their own fault. No, definitely
Just
not.
because they haven't seen anything else.
Exactly. You know, it's like this one girl I used to work with, and she was from like Nebraska, And
Cornhuskers.
and she was like, yeah, and where I live, she was like, no one even knew like black people were real. Yeah.
What?
She's like, yeah. She was like, I didn't even know black people were real. Like that's how crazy it is, you know.
Oh my god.
And she's like, I remember the first time I saw an Asian person. She's all like, who are they? And I was like, God damn, it's crazy. But yeah, no, like, I was like, what did they teach you anything in school? Like, did they not tell you that there were other races or ethnicities in your school where you grew up? You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, that parts of what makes people think that you're racist for not dating your own ethnicity or race, or that it's just a kink, you know, or just a phase.
I mean, hell, that even happens here. Like, when I was tutoring at MCC, one of my students that I helped with English was Korean. He was from Korea. And he had an in-person science class. And little background, like, Mesa, Arizona is pretty predominantly white. I would say, like, 60-40 between white and Hispanic Latino.
Yeah, I would say
mostly.
About that, yeah.
It's a lot of old people, like snowbirds, people from outside Arizona that come here for warmth. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was in a science class and he was like really freaked out because he was getting stared at by a group of white men because it was like they had never seen an Asian person in their life. Because really, in Mesa, the only time you really see anybody, like a lot of people that are Asian, is if you go to the Asian district.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's just like mostly old white people.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was really freaked out because he was in this class and these like group of redneck looking white dudes were just staring him down, and he's like, these guys are huge.
Yeah.
And they're staring me down.
Like, yeah.
Do I need to like tell somebody to walk me to my car? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, he was like really freaked out by it because they were just staring at him like he was some sort of alien or something.
Yeah. But you can't really like blame those people, but it's just like,
You shouldn't stare at people.
yeah, I shouldn't stare at people. Manners.
Like, even like, what are you, a little kid? Like, you expect that from little kids, and then, you know, their parents are like, don't stare.
Yeah.
Like, as college age adults, like, you should know not to stare at people.
Yeah, you should know not to stare at people. But, yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be staring at people like they're an exhibit or something. Like, that's just fucking weird.
Whoa.
Like, holy hell. What is that?
Who are you? What are you?
Or they're my favorite that I've heard from people is they get really irritated when they're Asian and they're given a compliment like you're handsome, and they're like automatically assume you're Korean just because of K-pop.
Oh yeah, that's true.
If you're a decent looking Asian man, you must be Korean, because apparently only Korean Asian men are attractive, according to some people. Or they automatically assume that you know other Asian people that they know.
Yeah.
Do you know so-and-so? No. There's billions. There's billions of us, just like there's billions of you.
Exactly.
Do you know every white person on the planet? No.
Exactly. But yeah, all in all, it's
Unless you've experienced it, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I guess I included, to like sum things up, you know, is to create it itself, like, you have to
Be better.
be better. Do better, be better, or else it's just not going to get better at all.
Well, because those same people will turn around and complain that people view the community that way. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, because you make it seem that way.
Yeah, exactly. You know, as much as I hate to say it, admit it, yeah, it's 100% true. Sucks.
I know the first time I told my friend about the server, they were like, oh, you're on a kink server. And I was like, honestly, I joined the server because you invited me, and I had
Yeah.
no idea what it even was.
Yeah.
I was just like, ooh, opportunity to make friends.
Exactly. But again, it's still like to a naked eye, like because they just hear these stereotypes, and it's nice that we are in that time of like day and age to where we, stereotypes are everything.
Which is funny because we're also in the day and age where everyone's like, if you judge somebody for their lifestyle, then you're the asshole. But then yet everybody does it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like cancel culture, but only cancel culture for things that the majority don't like.
Exactly. Just a circle of fuckery.
Fuckery.
Yeah.
Be better.
Yeah, be better. Do better, be better. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Alright, but don't forget, everyone, thanks for listening. Don't forget to check out our website at risemoonglobal.com. We got some awesome merch as well. If you also have some merch ideas for us, feel free to let us know. Send us an email or join our Discord server. We have either one.
Well, one, there's requirements. The other one is for everybody.
Yeah, so Rising Moon Global is for everybody and anyone. And Rising Moon is the niche AMWF. So feel free to, join our server. We'd love to have you guys join our server. You just got to do the verification process, which is on the server alone.
Which is for your safety and ours.
Exactly. And don't forget to follow our social media. Subscribe to our YouTube, our Twitter, our TikTok, our Instagram. Follow our podcast.
We've had some great people.
Yeah. Awesome. And yeah, thanks for listening to the Blast Zone episode 1.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.